Hey y'all, welcome back to Let's Talk Sis with your girl Tameca. So I am gonna let y'all know on my platforms. Again, if y'all haven't already subscribed, I need y'all to subscribe right now. So make sure you already are checking into Central City Radio on YouTube and looking for Let's Talk Sis. Did I say Let's Talk Sis or did I say Let's Go Sis? Because I got both of the movements. Y'all know how I do. Anyway, so then I also am on Facebook on Let's Talk Sis. I have a public page that you guys can subscribe to. Come in there and start talking with me. I'm on Tameca Howell at Facebook. I am on Instagram at Tameca8, and there's something else. And my Yahoo is Tameca Howell at yahoo.com. There was something else I wanted to say. But it was one that I keep forgetting to tell y'all, and I said I was going to tell you. Oh, TikTok, but I don't know what that is. But we about to come with the fire on TikTok, so I think it's Tameca316 or something like that, but we'll get to that. But today I'm excited. First, let me introduce my co-host. He been here for a minute, so I'm going to let him, but I'm excited about the people that we have on the show today. But go ahead, baby.
It's your man, 50 Grand, Flip the Convo, all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, soon to come, TikTok, all that. Let's go.
Which one is it? What is it? Because we keep doing this every week.
It's Flip the Convo. Instagram made me change it last week, so it's Flip the Convo 585 on Instagram.
Flip the Convo 585. Y'all get at your boy. Listen, he been teaching us on some men thing. Today y'all gonna see, because I'm interested in what's going on in the male mind, in the black male mind. Let me say that. So today I have my sister, cousin, massage therapist / we'll talk about how we don't know who we are to each other, but we say we cousins.
That's right.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Indigo Sister, aka Mother Dragon, and a lot may know me as Ms. Mocha.
Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook under Deshaun Howell. That's DASEAN. Last name Howell. You can find me on Instagram under Indigo, NDGO.Sista, SISTA. You can find me also at the same name on TikTok. My email is indigosista1.gmail.
Listen, Howell Gang, but we'll talk about that later.
I see.
Howell Gang on mine. Howell Gang on
y'all
mine.
In the business. Y'all ain't playing.
She has her husband with her, so we're going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself, my brother.
Yes, my name is SETI1, and, all platforms coming, and that was my lovely wife, and I'm finna enjoy this conversation.
What's SETI1? Can we spell that out? Is that something, are you already on the platforms that we can find you?
Yes.
Can you spell that for us?
SETI1. The number one.
All right. So tell us what y'all do a little bit. What, why we need to know y'all.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have a band. Our band has been formerly known as Indigo Sister, but now through this evolution, we're known as New Beings. We're both poets and active in the community for over 15, 20 years.
I feel like I need to have the music in the background. They
right.
Had that Erykah Badu playing. Go ahead.
I'm a playwright. He writes manuscripts. We also write music. We have a holistic business called Ubuntu Sessions. Ubuntu being you are because I am, or I am because you are.
That's dope.
And
I am
in
because
that,
you are. You hear this?
That's
I
right.
am because you are.
Did I
Man,
ever?
we
You
about
are
to
because
listen.
I am.
Word, let's get it.
We also have a jewelry company called Earth Drip, where we make jewelry that is
Earth
directly
Drip.
from the earth.
I need to
We
up my
use
game.
crystals, precious gems, precious metals, no plastic, no glass.
Is this one of your pieces that you have on today?
This is.
It's nice too.
All right.
That piece going in. I
This
like
is
that.
the shungite and the black jade and the turquoise, and then there's some ancient bone right here on the corner.
I'm mad y'all can't see. We gonna get to this video though.
Man, we
y'all
got
gotta
to.
see this.
We got
but,
to.
Hit my sister up or hit the page up or however if you want to connect with them. Soon we are planning an event that is going to bring us together again. So I told y'all, y'all know that I started this with Let's Go Sis, and Let's Go Sis was a movement to empower our sisters. But as I continue on this journey, we all need, it's Let's Go Us. right?
Yeah.
And
Let's go
so
us.
I don't think I'm gonna change the name because I think it's what it's supposed to be for
That's
me.
right.
Talk that talk.
However, I do think that we need y'all. We definitely need y'all. Having conversations with Flip.
as the other folks call me.
Listen, Mr. Convo 585.
Yeah.
As we have conversations, I realize that I'm slacking in some areas, and there's some things that I need to be educated on. That's kind of where today we just gonna flow, if that's all right with y'all out there.
You
We
ain't,
just
you
gonna
ain't
flow a little
slacking,
bit.
sister. You ain't slacking, sister. You
We
just,
gonna flow.
you just
gonna
need
flow.
another side of the story. That's
It's
all
just
right.
the communication.
I didn't
That's
know.
all right.
Listen. I
Listening to
was unaware. So some of the things we gonna rehash some of these topics.
Let's go back to that last one we
Let's
started
go.
to
Which
dive
one you
in.
wanna talk
The one
about?
about the truth. How far can we tell the truth in a relationship? I liked it that.
You liked it.
I liked it that. I'm gonna say liked it
I ain't finna mess with you today.
because you know why? It was a good topic. I think when you talk about telling the truth, and I think you just need to separate truth from love and all that. Tell the truth straight like it is, and just like she said earlier, don't let somebody take your choice away.
Yeah.
That's why the truth is important, but it's important to tell the truth because we do a lot of things out here on impulse, and that goes for men and women.
So listen, y'all wasn't here, so we gonna go here because I need somebody on my side because this one. So his example was if you out with your boys and you end up doing some stuff you shouldn't do.
Right.
How far should you tell the truth when you go home?
And then what I said after that,
I don't know what you said after that
because you
I
kind
was
of
too
blanked out.
No, I didn't blink out. What had happened is he was trying to tell me that what was happening is that if you tell the truth, what could happen from that, right? And I said that's not the point though. The point is tell the truth and then let somebody decide how they're gonna handle it. So I think how far you can tell the truth is always tell the truth, right? What y'all?
I think so, but as sometimes you do have to. I think most times you could tell the truth, but you have to think about how that truth comes across.
Well, you need to be prepared for the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, a lot of us
right?
ain't prepared
or
for
you
those
should
consequences.
Let me talk to my sister.
Go
Okay,
ahead, talk
come
to
on.
your
Let me
sister.
talk to my married
Come on.
people over here. So, shouldn't you just not do whatever you feel like you're gonna have to lie about?
I was gonna get into that. When you talk about truth, you have to go back to truth in yourself, and you have to make some mature choices. If you are going into a situation and something happened that's beyond your control, now that's one thing. But if you know it's some bullshit popping off and you choose to entertain it, that's where the lie starts.
And I think that you have to. So somebody said I didn't do that intentionally, and I said you didn't intentionally not do it either. Does
There's
that make
always
sense?
a choice.
So you have to. Sometimes you just don't put yourself in certain situations. If I'm in a relationship, there's certain situations I can't be doing.
That's
Does that
right.
make sense?
And like when I say there's always a choice, even when the outcomes are not favorable, there's always a choice.
And you have to be ready.
And
for
you have to
whatever-
pick the choice that's best for your family
without manipulating me.
Exactly. What you say?
Well, the truth needs no support, and the truth will be uncovered. That's the thing about the
Eventually,
truth.
right?
That's right.
That's what they say when they say the lie and the truth is mixed. Because what lies is the truth, and it would eventually come out. So, in that aspect, you want to be able to try not to place your counterpart in a compromising position. Things happen, but you have to understand that behavior is an extension of thought, meaning that you have to think it before you
Wait a minute,
animate
let me
it.
get
That
my
was
pen
deep.
out.
That was deep
Behavior.
right there.
Hold on, brother.
Y'all
Behavior is the
say that
extension of-
again.
But it's the same way we say that your thoughts become actions.
Yes.
So your behavior
Yes.
isn't. I liked it that way though.
And then sometimes we're not perfect. We make bad decisions, but you make sure that your partner knows what's going on, because I can't defend you if I don't know what's going on.
Even if it's something that I may not be agree with, I still got to be able to. Something I used to tell people is don't make me have to. I just let me know. Don't let me be caught off guard.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I want to know.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Okay, what if the truth could save a lot of people? Then what? Is the truth at our discretion, morally, ethically, and the principle? Like what's But what is, like, you should tell the truth all the time. If you are going to tell the truth, that's going to destroy someone.
Well, I think, I'm sorry to cut you off, sis. I think with your partner, with your compliment, with your intimacy, with your twin flame, that person should always know the truth. You remember we was talking about that dude on TikTok that come out the room sucking on his fingers?
I love him.
And he'd be like, hold on, y'all. Hey, what'd he say? Rock with me for a minute?
Roll with me.
Roll with me for a minute.
He say roll with me.
He said, brothers, please understand that when you tell me something in confidence, I ain't going to tell nobody.
But me and you.
What'd he say?
Me and Mr.
But my wife don't count.
Right, we gonna that right.
Right. We need to.
Well, you know, we
discuss
pillow talking, right?
Exactly. You gotta know, like, even when loyal, there should be no loyalty above that with your partner.
Right.
But can you be saved for the truth?
Can you be safe? You said.
Can you be saved?
That was my point right there.
Can you be saved?
Because if I really tell you at that point the truth, when the emotions are high and the feelings are high and everything's boiling and you already late coming home and the intuition done went crazy and she already know what's going on.
Then just don't lie. Just be quiet.
Ain't nothing good
just
open at 3:00 in the morning, but restaurants and legs, we already know that.
Right. That's real.
And bullshit.
And BS, right.
Bullshit, lies, and garbage.
So
right.
listen.
So you might as well go on and tell the truth.
So the question was, how far
do.
can you tell the truth, right? This is the question. Because when we start talking about those things, we've now talked about the consequences.
Right.
But it still should be, the truth should be the truth, should be the truth, and allow me to handle the truth. If the truth is going to destroy you, I would have to think about like what that is. But I think that I'm always about truth, though. I can't lie to you. Don't, like, sometimes we got to be careful at us asking questions or wanting to know. If you out at 3:00 in the morning, sir, and I already know I'm finna stay right there, I might not ask too many questions. I'd rather you, because when you lie now, you broke down trust, you broke down the relationship, and it's hard to get it back after that. Like, I think I was saying last week, I said, you don't understand that women, we more about, okay, yeah, we don't want you to cheat on us either, but the lie is what breaks us. The lying about it is what breaks us. First of all, we talked about women, feminine energy, and we have intuition. There's no way, y'all can't lie, it don't work. But inside of me, I already know. Inside of me, hold on, sis. Inside of me, I already know what it is, right? And so just allow me to be able to process through that. Maybe this isn't the time to talk about it. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do, because it would be good to say that I would just leave. But come on now, you know how many relationships we not just leaving all the time. Right. So, but don't break down the trust that we have. You already kind of broke it down when you went out and did whatever, and your impulsivity or whatever you want to call it, didn't think about me, right? But then now you in my face lying to me. Now what do we have left?
So when you cover your partner in thought as well as protection, that means that any behaviors or decisions that you make, you think about your partner first.
We talked about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that, if you still decide to do the thing,
whatever it is,
it's always a way that you can come to your partner in their maturity. Let's just say that. You can't say this to everybody. You can't say this to somebody who hasn't emotionally matured into a relationship.
Yes.
But you can say, babe,
listen,
I can't talk about it right now. To be totally honest, I really don't want to let you know, but
let's come back and revisit that.
But that still tells us something that we can work with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though emotionally as women, feminine energy, we're so abstract and curvy and circular, we want to know everything. What happened? Tell me.
I just don't probably need to know it right now.
But sometimes
I've found
the
that
time and the place is not the right time.
So I'm going to be honest. I've just recently got out of a situation where that was my conversation. Like, what's happening? What's going on? Why is this happening? And it was so, when I found out everything was happening, I said, so let me ask you a question. What is it that I am failing to give you that you need to go find that somewhere else? This person, that's mature. Listen,
that's a good question.
That was mature too. Because if I wanted to stay in there in that relationship, I had to figure out how I can make this not happen again, or how I can try. Because sometimes it's about what you're not getting. Sometimes it don't got nothing to do with me. But it was an opening to a conversation that we should have had, and the person was not able to even explore that. They was too busy trying to be mad at me about their actions, right? But as when you say, you talked about being mature in a relationship or being mature, period. In your maturity, you should be able to have all kind of conversations. I think I talk about stay out of your feelings so much to everybody, because we can be in our feelings, but when you allow your feelings to lead you is when we end up having problems. So I get in my feelings and I'm like, okay, let's have a mature conversation about this, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. I always am telling people like that hurt my feelings. And I think that's something as in our Black community that we have to start being able to evaluate why we get angry, why we're upset, why we get physical, because I always tell people that's a second emotion. So the first emotion needs to be, we need to evaluate that, and maybe we'll have a different experience in relationships. I had saw something on Facebook, and I think she said something about we want to stop being hurt trying to love a Black man, something like that. And I said, listen, that's a real statement though, but we both have to figure out how do we get there though. It's time that we
have to explore the traumas within ourselves.
Exactly.
Because someone else's behavior only triggers that. When it's something that goes against how we were brought up or what we believe in. But you also have to create space for your counterpart to work through their traumas. Not even work through them. First of all, identify them.
There you go.
You have to identify, like, that's a trigger, that's a trauma. Why am I even behaving
acting like that? Which
because the bottom line is truth is in behavior.
There it is.
People can say whatever they want.
They've been in our conversation.
I've been trying to tell people for years. Ever since I was a young man, not even knowing anything about behavior, I've been telling folks. Behavior outweighs what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can only trust people.
So you're talking about that's your actions. When we talk about actions are better than words.
And because I know when you act out a certain way, and knowing what I know now, when you act out a certain way, that's your body's response telling you to do that.
The behavior is an extension of thought.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you ever feel something like somebody bring a situation to you and you didn't handle it the way you feel like you should have handled it? Yeah. What happens to your body? Your mind go through some things. Your body go through some things. You go through some things. So, I'm kind of glad we brought this up because, this goes back to one of my last questions too. And my interesting, topics that I like to talk about, like versus love.
Oh yeah, I got that. I wrote that down too.
Because you think about this, we all have our BS with us. We just have to choose what BS we can take over the other. Because we all got some issues, like you said. We all traumatized. We all come from a system that wasn't quite right for us. We all came up learning a system through our parents, or not learning a system through our parents, and then have to get it outside. You have to get it from grandma, having to get it from auntie or whoever.
Now you always talk about getting it from the hood,
or whoever, and because that's who most of us are learning it from, unfortunately. Because look at the behavior.
So like versus love.
Yeah, let's go.
Like versus love, because I wrote that down too. I think we was politicking about some things. So listen. Is love and like different? Like, when you are in a relationship and you marry or not married, you just in a relationship
or anything, just a friendship,
right? So like versus love, those are two separate topics, aren't they?
LL.
So do you think you have to have both in that particular relationship?
Absolutely.
Do you think if you like them, then you could put up with more?
I think you could put up with more.
Yep,
you could put up one more thing.
Yeah, I
love
really do.
Love is a chemical response.
There it is. That's body's fulfillment.
Love is a biochemical response that our body has to something that it is familiar with. So this person that you love is always someone who you've always loved. Whether you believe in like lifetimes or twin flames or whatever, this person is a part of your genetic makeup. The only people you fall in love with are no matter where in history, they were your genetic makeup. They are a part of something that your DNA is familiar with. When you like someone, that is gratitude.
Right.
that is gratitude, that is being content with their presence. Their energy is not draining to you. It's reciprocal. It's giving you what you give them. It's balanced. It's calming. It's nurturing. It's healing. It's teaching.
This is like.
It's that extra fresh air.
So I want to go. I gotta go back. I just gotta go back. I'm not disagreeing. However, in the dictionary, love is a verb, which means makes it an action, right? So when I talk about love, when you're talking about that, that's what I call being in love with something. But when I talk about love, I'm just telling you what they say. The verb. You can look it up. A verb is an action. Listen, I'm just saying. So I'm thinking about in love. Being in love is that feeling that I feel. But my love is my action. Love, if we understand verbs, is an action. So sometimes, like when we talk about going out and cheating on something, you talked about thoughts. See, what happens in my mind, if I love you, I think about every step that I'm taking, right? Because that's an action to me. So in my love in action, this is just how I live my life. And if it's not what everybody else do, that's on them. But when I learned that it wasn't a feeling anymore, and I learned, and everybody knows that I'm very spiritual and I believe in God. And I believe in agape love is without conditions, right? So when I learned to love in my actions, it changed the way that I did people. It changed the way that and if I had to do something dirty, is what I call it, then I just won't mess with you, because I try to love everybody in action, right? And so it just took me a long time to figure out these two. And I can't even evaluate biochemical. When I think of that, I think about that feeling of like, how you come and I feel, I feel it. But when I read so I preach sermons, and I always break down words just because that's just the way I have to understand it. And I was like, well, love ain't really about that all warm and gushy feeling that people trying to tell us.
It's not. What it is when I say it's a biochemical response, love is an energy. You can put it in a box and say it's a verb, but it's everything. It's a verb, it's a noun, it's an adverb, it's a behavior, it's a thought. It is the true manifestation of what God
I believe that.
is.
I believe that.
If you really just tap out and just zoom out, true love is divine peace, right? The definition that we have is finite, because we think this is love, but this is just showing affection. You know what I'm saying? That's why out of sight, out of mind. If you're not there to be affectionate with them, they don't think about you. But true love is just divine peace, meaning if I'm not with you, I wish you divine peace anyway.
Indeed. So and also, true love is loving yourself first. Sure.
Well, you can't really love. I don't think you can really.
Some people have a distorted objective of what love is, and that becomes their belief, and that's what it is to them.
And a lot of that is from those trauma responses we was talking about earlier this week. Yeah. Having a trauma response. So there's some people who, when they say they have they're not able to commit. Well, typically don't have nothing to do with me. It has to do with whatever happened before. In class, when I'm teaching and I say, I always talk about my mama because I love, shout out to Johnny Howell in the house. Listen, anyway, but I love my mama. And people be looking at me like they don't have that same type of relationship with their mama. And I say, if you don't like people, the problem is you've been hurt by people. Like, what's the problem? First of all, we have to be in connection. We need each other to do everything we're doing. And when you don't like people, it was because something hurt you. So I always tell people, just take that time to heal. But as far as like and love, I think that you are right, spot on, sister. Like, we gotta be able to. If I like you, then I can go through. We can move and groove in this thing.
That's right. And with that, with love being divine peace, that's divine peace within yourself. That means you trust yourself. That means you trust that you made the right decision to choose this person.
Well, listen. What we can make. Listen, what we doing when we be making all these rogue decisions? Listen,
we move off of impulse.
Listen,
and cycles.
I'm too old
Sometimes we're attracted to the same energy that we just went through. Different phase, different location, but same energy. That means that we didn't get our lesson.
Them new shoes
So you
feels
repeat
different.
it again. And until you
I
learn
think that's
it.
why I always, in any situation that I go through, whether it's good or bad, I want to know what was the lesson in that.
That's right.
You know, because if, like you said, if we don't, then we got to get it again, because those are the things that help us grow and mature us, right?
That's how you
so,
ascend.
So if I don't want to keep, listen.
Let's go back to that though. Let's go back to that. I like something they said earlier. You know, sometimes the relationships in love don't feel good, and then we go jumping out the pot into that kettle, knowing that kettle hot.
What my mama say? She said, "You think that grass was green?" And it's what she say is quicksand.
And you know, and sometimes I think people do need to see that difference, and I think that's another reason why people are actually able to return to one another once they break up, or the marriage has salted a little bit, and you go out there and you look around Earth and you be like,
nah,
I'm going back to Charlene.
Trying to find my way back.
But you know what? It's like when you meet your
us.
soulmate or twin flame, people romanticize that, but it's not always a romantic connection.
Man.
That is your mirror image showing you some stuff about you.
Okay.
You always go through a life lesson with your soulmate or twin flame, because they bring out something in you that you've been cycling and not ascending from. So when people like, oh, that's my soulmate, like that's my bestie,
Please
it's not really
listen,
like that.
listen.
And they just sitting in one spot.
Vito say, "Get you and
But it
me."
helps if you like each other.
It really do.
It
I
helps.
think
I think you
immensely.
could take more when you like somebody.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
if you just love that person, you can. Oh, I love you,
No,
man. And then,
Listen.
soon as they do something that you don't like,
Right.
that love just skeet out the window.
That's what I'm saying. When people say like, excuse me, sis, I want to just jump back on that agape love. Love always has conditions.
I don't have
Love
to.
always has conditions. If you are fulfilling my idea of what love is, I'm going to always hold this space for you. But once you do something wrong, hurtful, and we could go from 0 to 10 on the wrong or hurtful, I no longer have love or trust
See, but
you.
that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's not how I operate. So I hear y'all saying that, but that's not how I've learned to operate, and that's how I choose not to operate. If you do something to me, the only time that I could talk about my last situation that I got out of. I'm gonna be honest. Today he called me about and wanted to talk about something that was very hurtful to him, right? I took the time to listen. See, because even though I no longer like him, I still love him because I love people. So I don't choose to operate like that. There's some people that I don't allow in my space because they don't love me properly. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's a
And it's some
difference.
people that I
Big
choose not to allow access to me at all because they've done stuff that was, not. But I'm gonna go back to when I was almost got shot and killed, and the officer asked me. He said, "So if your friend would have died, would you want him to be the person to be murdered or die or killed or whatever, get capital punishment?" I said, "No, I don't operate like that. I don't. That's not how I feel."
Mm-hmm.
And even right now, me and the person that was with me gets into it because that's still a person and something was going on with him, and I still see that. So I hear that. I just don't operate like that. It's not, if I don't, I do. It is easier to stay in relationship with you, close relationship, when I like you. It doesn't negate the love that I have for you. And I still don't treat nobody no type of way because they did something to me, because I do everything I do unto God and I love him. So I believe in agape love. Not everybody has to believe in that. So what you were saying, well, when I like you, then all that other stuff go out the window, but it really don't. It really not for me. You just don't have the same access to me, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
And so I want everybody, because listen, we all do stuff. We just go back to what we just talking about. People do stuff that you don't like. So then what? Because that's why I feel like that's why we having all these failed relationships. People don't talk to their mamas. They don't talk to their dads. They don't talk to their children. They don't talk to their brother, their sisters, because they did something that they didn't like.
They're just texting. Everything's a text. Nobody's picking
But
up
I
the
mean,
phone
like,
and
literally
talking.
not talking to them. Somebody just told me they ain't talked to their mama in 8 years.
That's terrible, man. I wish I could talk to my mama right now. I pick up the phone. Ooh, Miss Lady.
So me and my mama had gotten into it one time. It was a couple months ago, and I didn't talk to her for, I don't even know, it was a couple weeks, but she was coming out here anyway, and we looked at each other and that was done. You understand? But so I don't understand how people I don't know. I think it depends on what someone's been through and
how they've been taught how to cope with
That's it,
difficulties
right there.
in life. That has a lot to do with their
All the stuff that we do.
with everything, with even their capability to forgive.
Yeah.
Some people are
We
just
was talking about that.
confrontational. Some people are just, non-combative, and they'll stiff arm the situation because they're not able to face it. Or if they know if they face it, it's going to attack them. Blessing.
Bless you, sister.
I tried to hold it.
But if they confront the situation, or if they see the person who they're having this vibration with, that
Bless.
it'll blessings.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm so sorry.
Got the allergies.
It'll bring up some emotions that they're not prepared to
Can
deal
we get some
with.
napkins
Thank you.
for the
napkins.
host?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what I was saying was, some people with those situations, they don't want to confront it because they're not ready to deal with the emotions that'll rise up when they're confronted with this emotion. So they keep it, they stiff arm it. They say, I don't want to deal with it, or I don't got time for that.
That's those things that build up on the inside of us, and then we end up snapping. So I think a lot of it do have to do all the topics we ever talk about. I think on this show, because this show is about getting our Black relationships together. All of them, whether we're talking about in business, where we're talking about our families, whether we're talking about our kids, our men, our women. But this is what this show is about, and all of it seems to come right back down to trauma or upbringing.
It's been a lot of that. We've been traumatized from the gate.
And it's time, y'all. It's
time
really
to turn
time.
it. It's time to turn it and flip it.
It's time to heal.
Gotta heal, because you know what? We are here hurting ourselves more than anybody else, killing ourselves, not going to school, being in too much competition with each other. You got men and women in competition. Brothers, we do not look better than women.
You so crazy.
If y'all out here getting shots in your thighs and everything, man, pause on all that,
Who,
man. Don't nobody want to look
Is
at
men
that.
getting shots in their
Man,
thighs?
don't nobody want to look at that, man. Stop it, fellas.
Flip.
Let me find
If people
out.
get, let me write that
Let
they get
me
a shot in
find
their
out
thighs.
men is
Yes,
out
they
there getting
is.
ass shots. and
They
They might need to
thigh
put
shots.
their shots
muscles.
somewhere else, though.
Fake muscles
I don't think is that big in our community?
is getting
Fake
there.
muscles.
It better not be.
It's getting there.
Well, all the other stuff we done took everybody
It's
else's.
getting there. You ever seen that skinny dude with the big old calves?
I seen him. He ain't one of ours though. Like
She said he ain't
He
one of
one of us. He
Is
one
he?
of ours. He just a little different.
I ain't seen him. I don't even know who
he's
y'all
from the hood. I
done-
ain't
I
never
done
seen
seen
Jamal.
I done
with,
seen him.
okay.
Like, dudes getting
So here's
hit.
here's another conversation that we've had. So what we did was we was just talking on that phone a couple days ago, and I was just writing down stuff. But we was talking about how you was talking about teaching the younger generation how to talk to a woman
A
properly.
lady, yeah, introducing yourselves. Not what up, B. Hello, my name, such and such. You know why I was looking at you? I think you're pretty, sister. You mind taking this conversation?
That ain't what they
with me a
say. They
little
be like,
later?
"Hey, sexy."
That's what they say.
Then as soon as you reject it, what they say, sis?
So what younger? What age are we looking at? Because it's a couple.
I was just talking. I was talking about all of them for real. But he was
Younger
talking about.
Because these younger ones, these Gen Z.
X,
I don't
Y,
even know what
Z.
they
Gen
are.
Zs,
I don't even know.
These Gen Zers, it's so much different. They don't even
They don't even
communicate
talk.
like we talk. Well, like we
They
communicate.
text.
They are so much different than we are.
I think my son is 29 years old. I think that was the last generation, whatever that generation is,
Millennials.
that had some type of respect about themselves. Like my 17-year-old, I raised him the same way, and I'd be like, "Who are you talking to like that? Why would you talk to her like that?" He's like, "Mama, what did I do?" And he'd be really looking at me like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "No,
They're a whole different breed, and they came here knowing stuff that we didn't come here knowing. So, and then they look at their elders, and we ain't really holding the ball like we supposed to be. So
we talk about that all the time.
they look at us like, y'all ain't even following through what y'all be talking about. Move out the way. You
That's
know what
because
I'm
we
saying?
ain't trying to inflict all that trauma we went through. We come on now, let's
It's
talk
inevitable
about
though.
it.
So wouldn't it be better for us to explain it?
We need to explain it,
and
talk
teach.
about it.
Yeah, well,
You
now I
know
was
what
getting
I'm
my
saying?
butt whooping. My mama explained it to me. Right.
So listen. Let's get in y'all business a little bit. Let's get in y'all
Okay,
business a
come
little
on.
bit. How did what was your name again, sir?
City.
Seti, how did you approach my sister Indigo?
Really through a mantra, prayer, reciting these certain things I used to recite. Just looking for a better woman.
He said he
woman.
created me and called me.
That's
That's what I heard him say.
Well, yes, he did.
And
That's
I
what's
would
up.
be.
Listen, I need hey y'all. I need somebody to create me and call me.
I was doing.
Here's
the
my
same
number,
thing
y'all.
at
No.
the same- Listen, I was doing the same thing at the same time.
But hold on, like outside of that, of
Okay.
that, because y'all get that deep, just on the surface level, how did you introduce yourself? How did y'all? Because y'all had to, after all that happened, you had to see her. I hope you saw her and you. Okay, so how do you remember how that happened?
I mean, yeah, I'm from St. Louis, so that's how it started. And initially, I picked the phone up one day, and it was.
No, let's go all the way to the beginning. So what happened was.
Yeah, that's why. Come on,
What happened?
But we gonna have to let the brother
I
talk
had
though,
put
sis.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No,
baby.
go ahead.
It was a Facebook.
I want to go
post.
to that. That's where I want to go.
It was a Facebook post.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what you say on Facebook? How
I
y'all?
said-
The book
I
done
just-
helped us
So let
out
me
once
get on
again.
Facebook. What I gotta say? Let me take notes.
She don't
So
open up her
what we
page,
gotta
y'all.
say?
I said your DNA tests are fake
Yeah.
That was on your Facebook.
on my Facebook.
Okay. And
Started out like that,
happened?
huh?
And we wasn't even friends. We didn't have no friends in common.
See how?
But my
the universe-
profile is public, so you know how when the people who are migrated to your page are kind of like either have the same
Some
school of
kind of-
thought
yeah.
or something. So he commented and told me that I was the physical manifestation of God on earth.
Listen.
Holla.
Listen. What he had said. Let me.
What you tell me?
Let's pay. I'm the
I just told her she was the physical femininity of God in the flesh.
physical.
Holla.
He said write that down.
She couldn't get her pen off fast enough.
Femininity. Can I say somebody's
Of
a
God in
physical
the flesh.
femininity?
Of God in the flesh.
Okay, let's go.
Talk about it.
And it was just a post. It was a random post, but it spoke to me for some reason. And
Because our DNA is fake. Oh, let me.
and I just gravitated. I was like, oh, somebody's thinking outside the box. I thought like no black man has a life-saving resource. So I know that the people and the powers that be that control everything, I know that they put out like you can go through her and we'll find out. Listen, I was like, come on, man, just a person just think about that. You think they would actually tell you and trace you back? Like these are the people that's in position. So I was like, that was kind of, 'cause everybody be like, I mixed with this, this. I'd be like, okay, yeah. So from that point, I found it refreshing. So I was like,
Refreshing. That's what it need to be, like a breath of fresh air. You know how when listen,
Take it in.
in this current situation that I might possibly be in, I'm like breathing again.
That's
I
good.
feel like, listen, I almost wasn't. Y'all listen. We gonna have to come back and talk about like because I've never really talked about what I went through. I talk about it and I let it go. And sis, because you was
Yes.
coming. This is my massage therapist that I tell you. But what she really was breathing
Soul
energy
coach.
into putting energy. She think I didn't know,
Found
but I knew.
somebody
But
she
she was
trust.
really. But it wasn't.
that's
I don't know
needed.
if it was
Brothers,
a whole
we
bunch
need
of
to do that.
talking about it. It was more
It was just
of
a lot of energy.
energy.
Yeah.
So, but I was not okay. I wasn't okay, and I never, I just wasn't okay. And I had started to be okay, and then now I feel like might be a little bit okay.
Yeah,
I might be okay.
Can I ask my brother
that's
Seti
fine
a
and
question?
straight up.
You can ask
Brother Seti, I want to ask you a question, man, because I said something I think it was very potent last week, and I think a lot of men missed it, and I think a lot of men didn't understand it.
What you had said?
I said when you asked the question, brothers, are we all right? And I said no.
Yeah.
Because I said we're not, and I said because we suffering in silence. You
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Tell me why you agree, brother. I like that. Go there.
that was good.
Well, I believe that, you know, as a black man, you know, the psychosis, the mental illness we go through, as far as our counterpart, we deal with it on a whole different level.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel the more physical onslaught. You know, we deal
could
with
dig
these
that.
day to day, from police pulling us over, want to trip with us, to you name it, it's out there.
Oh yeah.
And these are components of being brought up in America. And yeah, you know, we don't have us. We always got to be like the Zulu. You know what I'm saying? We got to have that long ass shield, and we got to have our spirit. And I get it. Now our shield is kind of nubbed down, and for the most part, we looking like, baby, where's my spirit? She's like, what, you don't know your spirit?
Right.
So I understand it, but it's hard to be vulnerable when you have to be the one to move with representation, because they look at you. They look at your woman, your household, they look at you. So it's an ongoing task. So I don't think, sometimes it becomes like the voiceless, and you move in silence.
Yes, sir.
You know,
So
I was
I
telling
think,
her,
and
I
I
was
don't mean
telling her
to.
that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was telling her that last week because it's like a lot of us brothers, we feel like we move in mountains, and then, you know, we have to learn how to bring that back and be a little bit more caring when it comes to
I
our
think
lady.
what I've learned out of these conversations is now it's our job to like have y'all back for real. And I think that he was talking about we've been talking, but nobody's been listening. Nobody's been talking to me, because I can't talk for everybody else, but I think that I've been unaware, because I don't be in relationships, so I'm unaware. I'm around women a lot, and so just having these conversations, that's hurtful to me. That's hurtful that you have to suffer in silence. It's hurtful that you can't be vulnerable. It's hurtful. We was talking about inside your own house earlier. My road dog, we should be able to be the most vulnerable that we can, and then whatever we got to show out here, we show a strong front out here. But I listen. If y'all want to talk to me, please, y'all hit us up, please, because I am definitely on that mission to empower.
I just wanted
heal,
to also add in as my experience of, you know, being married and being in a situation. People always say that healers. Well, I just saw recently that healers need to be with protectors, right? And me as a healer, I can see that. But also, my protector needs to be a healer, because what he does and what I know that my husband does for me is all of my stress and anxiety from dealing with the world. He consciously wants to fight all of that. You know what I'm saying? He takes a natural protective stance.
Talking about that,
and when we talk about it, you know, he's about solutions when I want to vent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, this person at work or whatever, this person out in the world. And he's like, well, he'll deal with me individually instead of addressing the situation. And that to me explains that he takes it on physically just to take it away from me and allow me to have an easier time. And my husband in particular does a lot of things extra. Like he'll go clean the whole house, you know, and so that I don't have to worry about that. He'll take care of a task that I've been fighting with myself to do at home, and babe, I've done it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I also have to be conscious of how he may not be expressing how he feels and hold space for him. So when he wants to pull off and go in the bedroom by himself,
let him. Leave that man
and
alone.
don't keep going back in there checking, hey, babe, you okay?
Because you know he going to come back and say.
He going to tell you when he hungry.
We need that space.
He need that space. Or when he's irritable around the house. And I know that he's been carrying a lot of things. And first of all, of course, is there anything I could do? Is there some way I can help? And if he say, no, just,
then
you know what I'm saying, then I back off and leave him alone. I used to want to heal and fix everything. Baby, let me fix it. And it wasn't always my way.
Right. So listen, real quick, because we got 5 minutes. He called it to tell us like we only got 5 minutes, and I really want to say this things that I read out of this book right here, and the book is called Understanding the Purpose and Power of a Man. Men. I never. When I read it now, it's a whole different, right? Because I've read this book maybe 5 or 6 times, right? As a mature adult now, it's different. But I wanted to bring out a couple of things that he said, and I'm just gonna put them all out there, and then y'all say whatever y'all say, and we get out of here. But he was talking about there's a lot of issues with men right now. He said, but the crisis, the male crisis, is not about what we think it is. It's about lack of purpose and lack of identity. He was talking about that, a lot of because the roles have been changed and so much stuff has happened that now the issue is now that you're not walking in and I think me and you were talking about just walking in purpose, period. That gives you an identity, right? So he was talking about that, and I was like, that's deep. But we always say, well, they're not in their place, they're not in their place, they're not in their place. But until they are able to be comfortably walking in their identities of what they're supposed to be, right? Then that's anybody. That's going to be hard. So I thought that was deep. And then he said men have the primary influence on the tone and direction of society. He was talking about, so I always talk about lead. I want somebody to lead. And I didn't know why that was so important, but how can we maneuver and move if we don't have, if our men are not in their rightful positions? Like, we look like a nation. We look like a people that is just like fish out of water to me. When I look at us, our kids are out of control. Our women are out of control. We've been talking about the women want to be the baddest bees they could be. The dudes want to be the realest.
That's a whole nother show.
It is a whole nother show.
We're gonna get into that.
Have to come back.
We're gonna get into that. Flip the convo heavy.
That's what we're gonna do. So listen to this. What he said. He said, knowledge of what it means to be a true man cannot be acquired by observing the confused culture around us.
Can I?
Yes.
I want to speak to that. Well, the shame and glory has been misplaced. So the glory is the shame, and the shame is the glory. So, taken from all of our ancient elders, like if you go back to ancient Kemet, when the king took the throne, when the black king took the throne, his last self-proclamation was, "I've been tried and tested and never failed, and willing to be tried and tested again." Mm-hmm. So these problems are gonna eventually come back. You have to master it. So if you're moving with that in this world, like I said, the shame and glory has been misplaced. Then when you try to show the glory, they misconfuse it because they so used to living in the shame.
100.
So it's
and almost like self-sabotaging because now it's something that you used to. If you used to the shame, then you get to because I know that a lot of people will self-sabotage success. They get to success and they do something and you don't know why you're doing it, but it's because of whatever you're used to. Even when you get in a relationship that's the relationship that you're supposed to be into, then what ends up happening is now you doing stuff extra to sabotage that. So that's good. The shame and glory has been misplaced.
And also, the saying goes, if you want something different,
you got to do something.
You got to do something different.
Insanity.
So you got to look at yourself and what energy am I emitting that's attracting that to me? And have I been here? And what did I do when I was here? And did that work? And what else can I do? How else can I behave? How else can my response be?
That's what I've been trying to test it.
That's right.
So
try to test it again.
This is the last thing that I want to talk about real fast, and then that was a quick. Y'all gonna have to come back and talk to us.
Hey.
It say a real man is someone who knows the reality of who he is and who lives in that reality.
That's hard for a lot of us black men.
That's true.
Listen,
because they don't know who they are. Fellas, if you want to know who you are, go into a room, turn off your TV, turn off your phones, don't do no social media, and just sit there and figure out who you are.
Self-reflection.
Figure out what you like. Figure out what you don't like. Figure out what you can stand. Figure out what you can't stand. Do you like makeup? Do you not like makeup?
Oh Lord!
And also,
you got to figure
one
it out.
of the most important things is listen.
Listen to yourself.
Listen to the energies that are around. Like I use God. Listen to God. You know, a lot of people, if we just talk about prayer, they pray and then they move away. No, it's almost like meditation. You got to sit there and see what you hear coming back to you. So listen. So we didn't have any direction today, but we usually typically have a topic that we're talking about, but I like how the conversation flowed, and I knew it was going to be like that from my sister. So let me tell y'all about her. I think this is my cousin, y'all. We'll come back because ain't no black Howells out there. Howell gang on mine.
And we originated in the same place, and the whole Howell clan was displaced.
And I don't remember who I was talking to. Who was I talking to? Your
my aunt.
And I look just like her.
Your father. Yeah, it's people in your
Y'all
family look like us. We came from
You
the
look
same
like
place.
you look like my
Connect,
cousin. right.
She look like my grandma.
So we gonna come back. We here every week, y'all. We flipping the combo with Mr. Mr. Flip the Convo. I hope y'all come back and grace these mics with us again because there's some other topics that we want to talk about. But y'all support y'all black men, man.
And young brothers, pull your pants up, man.
We out this piece,
I'm about
y'all.
to start giving y'all tickets.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
That was